Still going. He's coming over. No, he's not. He's gone.
Still going.
It's going to be like that man in India who raises his hand for like 90 years and doesn't put it down. Still going.
Brilliant.
Talk of the Town. Annoyingly for you, it's me. I'm back. Sam is unavailable today, but I'm here to bring you another show from the training ground. Training's just finished. We've had a great laugh. We've got some great stuff coming up, including another teammates edition. First of all, though, we're going to reflect on our win over Newport and the draw against Colchester in midweek.
So long.
Yes, 4 very valuable points in 2 very difficult games, but some great showings out there, and it was great to see us rise above the relegation zone. We're now going to move on to teammates. We did another episode today earlier on in training. I grabbed the S&C coach Jason, and I grabbed our volunteer Paul Prendergast to give their thoughts on the team. Jace, welcome to Teammates. Are you ready to answer some questions about the players and the coaching staff?
Let's go.
Paul, welcome to Teammates. I'm going to ask you some questions about the squad and the staff. Are you ready to play?
Yes, mate, let's play.
We're going to start off with funniest player.
Dom Telford. Dom Telford, his analogies crack me up. I called him offside today, and he's claimed that he was offside by a toenail. He batters me every day, but he makes me laugh so much.
Funniest player, what, looks-wise or jokes?
Both, if you want.
Looks-wise, it's got to be Jake Tyler. Funniest player in a squad, I would have to say, dry sense of humour, Tony Craig.
You got funniest coach?
Oh. Definitely Watto and Youngie. Watto and Youngie have me in tears. Away trips are on my table, crack me up.
Well, there's no comparison. That's to Mr. Watts. I'll call him what you want. He's the class clown.
We've got best dressed player.
Oh. GF, George Frankham, 100%. I've been in Vegas with George Frankham, and he knows how to dress.
Well, I've seen a good few outfits. We got an introduction. Here's Watto. Watto, your funniest coach, apparently. He'll take it.
Best dressed player? Well, there's a gentleman called Mark Marshall. He thinks he's the best dressed player, but best dressed player I'd say was Dom Telford. He's quite cool.
Worst dressed player?
Mark Marshall.
Oh, worst dressed. I'm trying to fit. Oh, Dion. Dion has some rascal gear. I don't know what goes through his head some days.
Worst haircut?
Jake Tyler.
Oh. Wait, I cut my own hair, so I've got to be up there. Worst haircut. Worst haircut. Matt the Kits man. Matt, just talking about how good your barnet is.
Most vain?
We go for the hat trick, Jake Tyler.
I'm not getting tested in this.
Most vain. Who's most vainest? I'm going Dion again. Yeah, I know Dion. I know Dion's brother. I worked with Dion's brother before, and they are identical. For how vain his brother is, I'm saying Dion's the same.
We got hardest player, so one that you wouldn't want to get into a fight with.
One I wouldn't want to get into a fight with. Funny enough, that would be at the moment. I go for Ellery or Corey because they're massive. They're massive, mate.
Oh, okay, there's 2 here. Obviously, the obvious one, Tone. Nobody wants to go nowhere near Tone. I'm putting Teddy the Destroyer up there as well. Right, he's a silent assassin. I reckon that if he goes, he's not stopping.
We had Archie Davies last season. He was nicknamed the Silent Assassin. He was from Brighton Academy too, so maybe they produce him. I don't know if that's a thing. Who's most likely to lose all their things on a night out?
Ooh, I reckon Dom Telford.
I've seen Ludi's one of this. I'm putting Ludi up there. Ludi 100%. Or my intern Ross.
Who's the most likely to go on Love Island on the TV?
Love Island, you're having a laugh, and you're none. Love Island. I reckon Love Island. Let's think. That's a hard one, mate. That's a hard one. Love Island.
Most likely to be a successful manager? It's a staff and sort of and players.
Is Youngie involved in this?
No.
Okay, right. So Tony Craig, obviously, he's on his way to being an unbelievable experience. Information he's given at the moment, helping Youngie out is phenomenal. And George Frankham. George Frankham worked with him previously, and now the level of information that he gives, even when he was on the bench on Tuesday night, jumping up and giving information, phenomenal. So George Frankham and Tony Craig.
Got one more, which is who is most likely to go on Love Island in the summer?
Let's go for someone who really fancies himself, eh? We're going with Dom Telford again.
Dom Telford again? You don't fancy it yourself? Bit of Love Island?
What, with Dom Telford? No.
Most likely to be in Love Island? Jaden. Jaden. Team starving Jaden. Any girl's photo on Instagram that lives in a 100-mile radius of Croydon, Jaden is like that picture. So 100% Jaden.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for playing.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. sticking up for you on here. You. See this man here. Yes, Mr. Young.
Yeah, great to speak to both Jason and Paul. Some very funny episodes once again of Teammates. We're going to move forward now to another chat with one of our co-owners, Hunter Orrell.
Hunter, obviously nice to chat to you again. First of all, just how's your first couple of weeks been back in the UK?
Good. It's been nice to be back. Fall is really beautiful here. Even the trees out front of the stadium right now look amazing. It's been good to see all the players and the staff and even yourself. It's like getting back to see family, as I said the last time. It's every time feels like it's harder and harder to leave, and then I'm like happier and happier when I get back. So it's good. It's good.
And obviously in the last few weeks there's been quite a lot of change at the club, obviously with the departure of Dan and Kevin. But what's your kind of overall thoughts been recently on obviously recent form and how the job Lewis is doing?
Yeah, Lewis is doing a great job. Definitely can't knock him for the tie. Everything's been amazing so far. I think with the transition and where we were in the table, it's been a real kind of momentum boost to see everybody's spirits up and getting that first goal and watching everybody kind of rally behind this. I wouldn't say turn yet. It's still early in the wins streak column, but it's just been really motivating for me to watch them have their spirits high and the training intensity go up and the play style get closer and closer to what we want it to be. Still lots to work on, but I'm happy with how the players are handling everything.
And has there been any standout performance for you? Has there been any certain players you're looking at going like, yeah, they're at the top of their game right now? I
mean, Ashley and Tilly have just been killing it. There's no question about that. The performance has been over the top, and they've just been playing off each other very, very, very well. It's hard to single out people. Obviously, they've been putting numbers on the scoreboard, but I think it's hard to pull away from it being really a team effort across the board.
And obviously, a lot's gone on this week. Obviously, we announced the continuation of the Sidemen project, basically. So we've obviously announced that we've got Toby, Manny, and I think his other brother are coming down to train with us next week. Could you just talk a bit more about that for the fans?
Yeah, I think fan reaction has been expected, right? But in my opinion, we've seen a lot more positivity than I thought we would even see. The numbers don't lie either. The entire internet was talking about it. I mean, tens of millions of people were talking about Crawley Town. I can look at that and, feel really good to know that more and more people are aware of what's happening at this club and who the players are and what we're trying to achieve. And I also just can't wait to see what Toby can do and what his brothers can do. They're properly good footballers. And again, I think if you watch some of the stuff that he's put out talking about this situation, it hasn't been about, oh, this is my time to shine. It's more about, this is my time to help put eyes on the club and what they're doing. And also for his brothers to get some experience playing around the club and at a professional level. It's definitely a building opportunity and not a stunt, as some people are calling it. And
just out of interest, or obviously the announcement, how did you go about deciding who to pick from the game? I mean, was it a case of you kind of all had a look at the stats and kind of analysed the game, or was it a bit more to it than that sort of thing?
For sure. I think Toby, has amazing skill. I mean, he's told people like, oh, you can't look at that game because it's not against professionals, but he does. He's naturally talented and very good at football. But I think when we look at it, it has to make sense. It can't just be like, oh, like we're doing this to get eyes on the club. It needs to be like, does it make sense really? And also looking at his brothers who are very good as well, it made for a really good opportunity to get them exposure into the club and then continue what we've been working on, I think, with our relationship with the Simon. I know a lot of people were DMing me saying like when speed and et cetera, and I have nothing against Speed. I think he's phenomenally talented at what he does and gets a ton of attention. But I think that is closer to what people fear is like, oh, you're just doing this to get eyes. And I don't think it's entirely that. I do truly think that with Toby and his brothers, there's a good dynamic to show an insight into the club and for them to have that opportunity.
And so moving away from that now, basically, obviously we talked about it earlier, touched on recent form. We saw yourself on Tuesday, obviously you went down to Colchester as well. Yep. We saw you in the away end with the fans. I mean, how are you finding it, chatting to all the fans, having a catch up, really?
Yeah, I tell people that the best place to watch any game is with the fans, and it really gets me going when I'm in the stands and people are chanting and, there's no quiet moment. I just really, really enjoy it. And now that I'm really starting to get to know like individuals better, and it feels like when I walk into a stand and I sit with a certain group of people, we're catching up on like the last week, and we're during the game week, we all know like, who each other is cheering for, our favorite players. And I think that adds an even higher level of like intimacy to a lot of the relationship that I've had with like the fans. And it's, I think, an ongoing thing for me where a lot of this is like accessibility that usually fans don't get. And I remember like leaving Colchester, having that like 45-minute train ride and just sitting in one car on the train, and it was probably like 20-ish Crawley town fans. We were all just discussing like what's happening at the club and like how does this happen and like what do you do and like what's a day-to-day at Crawley town, and like those conversations make it really, really fun to be around the fans.
And obviously moving on to Saturday, Bradford away. It's a big game for yourselves. Obviously, we know the past where obviously Wagme United were in talks to potentially purchase Bradford. So obviously, it's probably quite an important game for you guys as well. Like, how do you view the game?
This is like Christmas Eve kind of anxiety going into this. I really do want to perform well, and whether some people say they're rivals or not, to me they're rivals, and I want to put on a good show. I think at the end of the day, it's more of I just want Crawley Town to be remembered as like the team that we came in and we improved and we're doing the best for. I ultimately, everything that we do through the ownership group, I don't go into like the Simon thing's not something where we're like, oh, like this will make Wagme cool or this will be good for the owner. Like everything funnels back down to I want the fans to be happy, I want the team to grow, I want the team to improve, I want the team's platform to grow. I think tomorrow's a little bit of let's show them that they are going to regret not having us. But there's no doubt in my mind that I'd rather be with Crawley.
Brilliant, and that's brilliant, Hunter. Thank you for talking.
Awesome.
Right, looking ahead now to Bradford on Saturday. A massive ground, they've got a big following, they've got a big manager in charge in Mark Hughes. Lewis mentioned to me earlier, just one of his idols growing up at Man United, so it's going to be a big day. We also know of the little sort of rivalry that's been created with our ownership group too, and it's going to make for a really, really good game, and we can't wait to see as many of you up there as possible. Personally, I love going to Bradford. We had an amazing win last year, Tony Craig in the last minute. I think it's one of my favourite ever Crawley games. Let's reminisce it.
Just a moment, try and get towards him. Burnham goes round him, plays it into the box, free header. There's the opening goal, and it's the veteran striker Andy Cook with the header.
say to the 120 fans who made the long journey this morning up to watch the game, and hopefully we can hold on for these last few minutes, Gary. We can take a point back down that M1 with us tonight.
Crawley have got themselves a free kick, courtesy of a foul on Nick Cerula on that far side. Mike, stopwatch, says we played almost 5 minutes of stoppage time. Into the box it comes. Tunnicliffe almost gets there. It's going to go in. It's gone in the back of the net. Tunnicliffe is running away to celebrate. Right in front of the Crawley fans. It looks very much as if the Reds have won it in stoppage time.
Wow.
And the skipper leading from the front inside the final 3 minutes of stoppage time has won it for Crawley. They've come from behind, and it could be another fantastic away day for the Red Devils. In stoppage time, Ken, it's Bradford 1, Crawley Town 2.
Yes, fantastic to look back at last season's game against Bradford. What a fairy tale ending it was, with Tony Craig rising up and scoring that incredible winner. The fans that day were absolutely unbelievable, and if we could get anything like that support this season to support the boys on Saturday, it would mean the world to absolutely everyone. The support at Colchester was unbelievable, like I say. I mean, Media Sam and I actually at half-time went in to get a drink, went to the toilet, we came out, we'd missed the goal. As we were walking out, we heard a massive roar from the stadium and went, blimey, Colchester must have scored already. And no, it was the Crawley fans making that amount of noise celebrating, to our surprise. It's been brilliant, and I just hope that as many of you can get up to Bradford as possible on Saturday. But that's all for today's show. Keep it red. Come on the Reds.